Hi guys, I'm DrHans and this is DrHans Brewery, my channel about beer and homebrewing. Can you brew a beer with pasta? Let's find out. So, I'm gonna attempt to brew a beer with 40% pasta, and why would anyone want to do that? Well, I wanted to do it because I thought it was a stupid experiment and I really wanted to try it. But maybe on brew day you are in a pinch. There wasn't enough malt. Could pasta be a substitute for malt? Let's find out. On my channel here I do stupid experiments like this one, and remember, I do this kind of stupid experiments so you don't have to. So consider becoming a subscriber and do hit that notification bell so you get an update when I post another stupid video like this one. Beside experimental videos, I do brewing videos and tasting videos and gear reviews and more. So if that sounds interesting to you, consider becoming a subscriber. But yeah, today let's try to brew a beer with 40% pasta. I decided to brew a wit because it was some time ago since I brewed one the last time. So we're gonna start with some brew footage. Okay, we are up to a boil. That's 17.7 liters of water and 2 kilos of pasta. I'm gonna destroy the names, of course. Gnocchi, penne, fusilli and farfalle. Awesome. Gonna boil this. So this says 11 minutes, 11, 10, 13. Let's do like 13, 15 minutes because I want them not al dente. So guys, took a pause in editing the video, didn't notice this mistake until I did the editing, and I did the editing after I did the recording of the tasting video, so I didn't notice this on the brew day, didn't notice this in tasting the beer, but I found this out now. If you find the mistake I'm talking about, comment down below. Of course, this was brewing with pasta. There was a lot of stupidness going on, but this was kind of funny to see when editing how I didn't notice this mistake. So, can you spot it on the video? Please comment down below, guys. Cheers. Back to the tasting and the doctor in the Back to the Future. Okay, so boiling, and I have the grain pipe in. In goes 500 grams of gnocchi. Okay. More pasta. Spilled some. In goes like almost 500 grams. Now we have 500 grams and some snow. Welcome to Sweden, guys. It's Sweden. It's cold as here. And yeah, we have a lot of snow now. See. But on with the pasta. 500 grams more. This is the fusilli. Okay, and farfalle. Okay, so giving them a stir, and let's boil this for, like we said, let's do 50 minutes. Okay, what can happen? They can get soggy. It's what I want. Okay, I did have a little boil over, but we're fine. almost, I think we are at like 30 minutes. Should we pick one up and see where we are? Okay, it's a little chewy, so I'm gonna boil them a little bit more, because I really think that it would be better if they are soft. Let's give them a few minutes more. Okay, they have been boiling now for like 15-16 minutes and they are done. Sorry, fogging up. So let's kill the heat, and yeah, I'm also gonna remove this one because now I need the what should we call it? It ain't a wort yet. I need the pasta and the water to cool down. And what I think we need to do is to mix this up so we get the pasta down in smaller bits. I think. Hope this is the right way. If you brewed with pasta before, comment down below. And guys, yeah, remember to subscribe to the channel, because you know, I do these things so you don't have to. So yeah, and of course, like the video. This is gonna be a sticky mess. Yeah, this was one of those stupid ideas. The water is turning really thick. Hope this doesn't break my pump later. Okay, everything is mushy now. It was just a stupid idea. But I had this idea for such a long time, so I had to do it. Okay, so we're gonna let this cool down now to about, let's say 67 maybe, C. Then we're gonna add the grains and yeah, start the mashing. This is nasty. I have to check my recipe. I think 2 kilos of pasta and yeah, 3 kilos of grains. And dialed my numbers back to 72% efficiency. For my normally I am at 78, but for wheat beers, when I use like 50% wheat, I usually end up with efficiency of 72. Like, this is a thick mush now, but it is a lot of starch in it, so it should work. But we don't know if the enzymes in the Pilsner will convert all of this. We'll have to see. But we have my normal efficiency value for my wheat beers is 72. So yeah, let's find out what will happen. In Beersmith, I just calculated this as wheat, of course. You have to see this. It looks so nasty. It's like gelatized. Still waiting. Can you see how thick that is? Still waiting for it to cool down. We're at 87. It's cooling down fast. It's really cold outside, so. Okay, so we will be using 2.9 kilos of, it's hard to do this with one hand, 2.9 kilos of Pilsner malt and 100 grams of acid malt. And people asking where I got the storage boxes from. They are from IKEA. And for the most of the stuff I use, I have links down below in the description. So if I like it, I will link to it. If I don't like it, I won't link to it. It's really good scale, by the way. Having a good scale on brew day really helps out. You see, this is like very good and precise. So 2.9 kilos. A bit too much. Yeah, okay. Exactly. Then we're gonna use, and yeah, I have a piece of plastic on here as well because they aren't airtight. Also gonna use some rice holes for this. I'm thinking, looking at the mesh in the mash tun now, so maybe use a ton of this, 250 grams, that's a lot. But yeah, why not? I don't want to stock mash. So yes, fish up some acid malt. Okay, this is acid malt. We're gonna use 100 gram of that. Let me give you a small tip. If you're using a big container like this one, and you have a scale with tare, just put another pot in it and pour your specialty or new grains in the pot. So if you pour in too much, they will easily be fished out. 99.7, that's totally fine. But ta-da-da! Okay, so let's just blend this up. Good. Okay, so the grains for this one is 2 kilos of pasta and 2.9 kilos of Pilsner malt, 100 gram of acid malt. That's a total grain bill of 5 kilos. Let's get this crushed. I decided to let cool even further. Now this is just like gelatinized porridge. Looks nasty. We're down to like 62 and the grains are chilled down. Also, I thought I'm gonna start this around like 60ish. This is 60ish. 60C is the low as this system goes, really. If you try to go lower with this system, it can get really sticky. And you scorch the element. So this is rice holes. I might have to add more water. We have to see what happens. I'll give this a really good stir, and if I think I need it, I will add some more water. I really think so, but let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm gonna give this a really good stir. man, this was a stupid idea. So we will need some more water, because this is, yeah. Oh, this is the time where I should say, but it will be beer. But will it be beer? I'm not sure anymore. I hope so. We need more water, so I'm gonna heat up some water. Okay, water are heating up inside, but I've pulled some, let's call it wort now, from the bottom there, trying to soften this up. And yeah, I'm all for getting as little oxygen or air in this case into the mash as possible. Oh, look at this mess. But this is just sick. I have to, yeah, do what I have to do, I guess. But we're getting at least wetter and some, oh, can you see that? What a mess. This will be the only time I do this. Don't try this at home. Like I said earlier, I do this thing so you don't have to. So subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell. And of course, thumbs up for this stupidness starting to look like something. I added 1.7 liter water and giving it a really good stir, so it feels kind of good now. This could be a total failure, or we can find some way to rescue it. So I'm going to start the circulation. I have to watch this really close because I don't know if we are stuck or what happens. Hope I don't break my pump. It should handle it. I thought we should have a look at the wort at start. So this is really murky. So we're gonna see how this clears up. Hopefully it will. That's a murky looking wort. Circulating, and in about 50 minutes gonna check the pH. This is 20 minutes in. It hasn't cleared up anything, and it's still really sticky. Still not convinced that this is gonna be beer. Gonna pour some back, and the rest are gonna chill down to take the pH. I hope that things might sort themselves out as the starches are being converted into sugars. That's the idea, and hopefully it will work. The mash pH at 20C is 5.3. So yeah, well targeted mash pH. Nice. This is a really sticky mash. New dough balls are forming all the time. So we're looking good at pH, but this is a mess. We did add like 250 grams of rice hulls, but yeah, this is a mess. I've been going for 60C for about 35 minutes. Gonna bump up the temperature now to 64. I'm gonna do that slowly using 700 watts. Hope we will be able to drain off this liquid and sparge it. This might be the first time that it doesn't become beer, but yes, I have been thinking of this experiment for such a long time, so I wanted to do it. I was actually first planning to do 50% pasta, but I didn't have so much pasta at home. I'm glad I didn't. Don't know what will happen when we come to sparging. Hopefully it will sort itself out as the mash continues, but I'm still worried. I've been holding it for 64 now for 30 minutes. Time for the next step, and I'm thinking 70. Go slowly up to 70 using 700 watts. Hold it there for another 30 minutes. Okay, so now we have been going for at least, let's see, still dough balls. So sticky. So it's not still dough balls, but it's continuous clumping up. So this has been going over 30 minutes at 70°C now. And it's a very sticky mash. Don't really know what to do. Was hoping that it should get better. It's not impossible that this will be beer. It might be beer even. It looks really weird. Well, it's really sweet. I tasted it. So we have had some conversion. I couldn't find my iodine bottle, so sorry about that. If you're interested in the iodine test, I will put a card up and a link down below to one of my rice beers videos. It is grain to glass brewing video where I show you exactly how the iodine test works. It's looking very strange, very murky, dark looking, doesn't look good at all. I will try to see this experiment through, even though it's a really mess and this brew day takes forever. Don't try this at home. I'm getting stuck mash all the time. Thought I'm gonna try another stupid idea. Maybe. Let's put that in there, and then let's put that in there. Okay. Maybe it won't work. So I still think I need to scrape the bottom. I have to scrape the bottom all the time. I don't know really how I'm going to sparge this. Why do I do this thing? Why do I do these things? Why do I do such stupid things? So you don't have to. Oh, worst brew day ever. This looks like a brownish gray terrible mess. Is it burnt? Oxidized, of course, but that shouldn't give that color. Could it be like burnt in the bottom? Something like that. It tastes alright. Doesn't taste burnt. Why did I do this? Okay, I will try to drain it and do some kind of sparging. I've said it earlier, don't try this at home. Okay, so we are draining, but we have to stir it all the time. So it's gonna like fill it up with water and stir it, and yeah, I don't know, such a mess. Believe it or not, but the foam is almost gone. This doesn't look like wort, but the foam is gone. And I didn't have a massive boil over. I'm surprised. First thing positive today. This beer, it's gonna be a no chill. That means that I won't chill it here on brew day. I would just put the lid on. I put some plastic foil on here, some food wrap or what you call it, and just leave it for next day. It's Sunday today, so it's work day tomorrow, so that means that I will leave it for tomorrow night. It's very, very cold, but I will leave the insulation on and hope that it doesn't get too cold. There are both good things and bad things about no-chill. One good thing about no-chill is that we will actually cold crash the beer before it gets into the fermenter. It seems like we're getting wort in our fermenter, and the wort is sweet. Hopefully it's not burnt in the bottom. We know that tomorrow. So we are getting something, and this will ferment because it's sweet. But how it will look, how it will taste, never, promise me, never brew with pasta. Okay, this is so thick, so you can't even use a hydrometer. So I will draw of to see if we start to get, yes, now we have liquid. I was just to give up because as you saw the sample there was just a mess, but now we have some sort of liquid here. So I'm gonna pour this off and draw a new sample and try to see if we can measure the OG of that. I almost gave up, guys. Almost. Okay, it's still murky, but now we actually have a liquid. We have 1055. That's a little bit higher than I was aiming for, 1049. So we did have a good conversion after all. As you see now, it actually floats in here. It's not like the first sample. So we're gonna go ahead and ferment this. Okay, sanitized bucket, and we're transferring. Actually, it doesn't look terrible. I think it's gonna be beer. I'm so tired of this wort. So, and yeah, it's cold outside. This is sitting around like 14-15 degrees. I think it's a little bit hotter. We're gonna start this at 17 C, so I think we will be very good there. I'm gonna use Lallemand Munich wheat beer yeast, 2 packs. I'm gonna sheet today. Just gonna sprinkle it in because I just want to get this done using 2 packs. So we will be fine. Also gonna put some oxygen in there with my oxygen tank, with the oxygen stone. Okay, 2 packs of Munich going in. Yeah. Now it's starting to sound a little bit scary and look scary again. I thought we were all clear. Doesn't look the same now. Doesn't sound the same. But yeah, I do want some more than... It is more than 17. It's tilting a little bit, but... Yeah. I don't know. It will be something. It will be beer, I hope. Don't brew with pasta. Okay, so we're using the control heat system. Have a video on that. I can put a card up to that. It's 14 degrees Celsius in here. I'm gonna start this at 17. So yeah, that's good for this system. I want to be at least 3 degrees lower for a basic beer like this one. If we're doing like a very hot fermented beer, of course you can use some insulation, push it up. You can push it up over 3 degrees, but as we don't have any means to chill it other than the room temp, I'm aiming for that temperature. We are a little hot actually, but yeah, temperature will drop. We're at 22 degrees, so it was hotter than the thermometer read. But we are in the zone, and yeah, I could take the temperature down a little bit even further in here just by opening the door. So it's cold as fuck outside. I ended up with 20 liters of something. Let's just hope it will be a beer. Tasted, of course, sweet. You can taste the bitterness from the hop and smell of coriander seed. So it might still be a wheat beer. Let's see if... Yes, it did burn a bit. As you see here, nothing major. I don't think it will have like a burn taste. It's just a little bit there. So shouldn't be, oh maybe some, no problem, but there's some burnt wort there. Ooh, it's so nasty now, need to clean it. Okay, now it's all shiny again. It wasn't as burnt in as it looked. It came off very simply with a little help from water and sponge. Okay. Next morning and it's full activity. Can't see Krausen really, but it's storming off gas here. So nice. Welcome back, guys. Hope you enjoyed the brew footage. So, did it become a beer? Well, yes, it did. Here's the beer. It's very clear, not perfectly clear, but very, very clear for being a wheat beer. You used to very hazy beers. It holds no head at all. Yeah, I actually did a better pour the next day of the beer. It's a little bit darker here than you see it on camera. Quite loose bubbles, but it do have a head and it carries it. Back to the doctor and the review. We have a straw-colored beer. It looks more like a light lager, Keller beer, something like that, with a slight haze. And it has been sitting for a while in the keg now, so I think if I had poured off another one, it had been like crystal clear. So something's up with that. So we're gonna taste the beer, review it. Also gonna run through the recipe. The recipe is already up on my Patreon page in the DrHans recipe book, where I have well over 100 recipes now, and it's growing every month, both from my own brewings recipes and also from beer mail, and last from the commercial one, the best commercial black IPA, which was a brown ale. I'm gonna put a card up to that. So if you want to check out my Patreon page. A special thanks for the patrons who helps out every month. There's a lot of work put into doing this video, so thank you guys so much. Speaking of Patreon, roll the Patreon list. Okay, so let's have a sniff at the beer. So you get that coriander, fruitiness. Yeah, spiciness from the yeast. Smells really nice. Almost like a citrusy. That could be the coriander. Okay, so let's dive in. Cheers, guys. It do have like a cider note to it. Maybe it's just in my head. You get the coriander, of course. Like the wheat taste. Can't find any off flavors with it. It's quite dry. We're gonna have a look at the recipes and my brewing notes also. But it did work. So can you use pasta? Yes, you can do it. Would I recommend it? No way. I will never use pasta again. Maybe if you just did like 10%, you will be fine, but 40%. There was so many times during the brewing process that I thought maybe I should give up. I think the brew day took like 12 hours. I'm recording this before editing the brew footage, but I really hope that I got to show you how much. There was like 5 liters down in the brewing bucket, so I had to use a siphon to draw the top of the beer into the keg. And yeah, I usually don't use siphons, but there were no way that I was gonna go through the tap from the bucket. I tried to tilt it for a few days, but no, it was too much mess from the pasta. I'm pleased with the beer. It's a nice beer. I won't brew it again, of course. I really want a wit to be more like a wit than a cider. It's not a cider, of course, but yeah. It's not a perfect wit, and it's not hazy. Who would have guessed that a beer with 40% pasta in it would be so clear? And I do get a lot of questions about the stuff I use for beer and brewing and filming. So if you are interested in what I use and recommend, you have my Amazon storefront to check out. I'm gonna put a link down below. So do check it out if you want to. Of course, if you do decide to buy anything from there, I will get a small kickback, and it would help my channel. But let's go through the recipe. So the pasta wit and recipe is already up on my Patreon page in the DrHans recipe book. So I'm gonna go through these in kilos and also percentage for you imperial guys. Percentage is always the best way to share a recipe, then the brewer just can add in its own. My efficiency is 78%, which I use in Beersmith. If I'm brewing like a barley beer, if I do a wheat beer, like a sticky one, I usually end up with a lower percentage, like 72. This time I ended up a little bit lower even, like 71. But I also did have more boil off than I counted for. So there were some more gravity there. So yeah, this was a disaster brew day. But let's run through the recipe. So I use 2.9 kilos of Pilsner, that's 58%. 2 kilos of pasta, that's 40%. And I use 100 grams of acid malt for pH adjustment. And I used 50 grams of Mandarina Bavaria at flame out. Some spices also were used, 25 grams of ginger root and 25 grams of orange peel. And I used 20 grams of coriander seed. This was fermented with Lalleband Munich yeast, wheat yeast, 2 packs of it. I did a step mash this time, hope that would help. So I did 30 minutes of 60C and 30 minutes of 64C, 30 minutes of 70C, and did a mash out at 76C. This was a no-chill beer, and that's why all of the hops went in at flame out. So when you're doing a no-chill, you have to recalculate your hops addition. If anyone are interested in the no-chill method, I could do a video about that. Comment down below if that sounds interesting to you. Maybe I will do it. Anyways, the OG was 1055. That was much higher than I had planned for, but I did had more boil off than I calculated for. And I noticed that on brew day, but what I should have done was to dilute it down to like 1050, something like that. But after 12 hours, I was so tired and I couldn't find the energy to do anything more. So I just left it. And yeah, I wasn't even sure that it was gonna be beer. So yeah. And this did ferment out to 1010. So we got an ABV of 5.9, which is too high, I think, for a wheat beer. So yeah, I should have diluted this beer. But there you have the recipe. And the answer for if you can brew with pasta is yes, you can, but it's not recommended by the doctor. So if you are new to this channel, please consider becoming a subscriber. I do this stupid kind of experiment so you don't have to. Please give this video a thumbs up. Consider if you want to check out my Patreon page and the Amazon store. Thank you all for watching, and I'll soon be back with a new stupid video. So cheers guys, and thanks for watching. DrHans out.